Hi everyone. For this topic, I would like to explain about the descriptive statistic for ungrouped data. Basically, there are two categories of data that we have. First is the ungrouped data, and the second one is a group data. Ungrouped data is the data that not being organized. This is a raw data. Meanwhile, for group data is a data that already being organized, arranged based on the class interval, and that is a part of the difference between ungrouped data and group data. Okay, basically after completing this topic, you should be able to understand the mean, median, mode to measure the central tendency of the group and ungrouped data. But this one is for ungrouped data first, and then you will know on how to calculate mean, median, mode for both data, and to construct the frequency table, to calculate the first quartile, third quartile, interquartile, and also the quartile deviation, and lastly to calculate the variance and also standard deviation. Okay, so for ungrouped data, there are few formulas that you should know, but if you want to compare for group data and ungrouped data calculation is more simple, is more easy compared to group data analysis. Okay, first one is a mean. So what is mean by mean? It is a set of data of only one mean. It's a unique numbers, or mean also means the average. Okay, the mean is a useful measure for comparing two or more populations. So if you look here in the formula, there is a sum of x divided by n. So basically sum of x means that the total numbers of data that you have, you need to add it all and divide by the numbers of the data. For example, you have 6 numbers, so 6 will be n, and when you add, the total will be your sum of x. Okay, and then the second one is a median. What is meant by median? Median is median is actually a midpoint of values after they have been arranged from the smallest to the largest, or the largest from the smallest numbers. Okay, because normally ungrouped data, the numbers, they will not be arranged yet, so you need to organize or rearrange the numbers, either from the largest to the lowest or lowest to the largest one. After you arrange the numbers, we need to identify the midpoints or the middle value in between the numbers. Okay, if let's say you have two numbers in the middle, what you should do, you need to divide by 2 so that you will get the midpoint of it. Okay, that is what median. And then mode. What is mode? Mode is actually a set of measurement, is the value that occurs most frequently. Okay, if you have around the numbers, and you have some numbers have a common numbers, 15, 15, 15, 86, 17, 19. So those with the most frequent number, for example 15, that will be your mode. That's it. That is how you identify the frequent numbers based on the data. Alright. Next, we go to the quartile. For quartile, this calculation is only for ungrouped data, where we need to identify the Q1 and Q3. Okay, for Q1, the formulas is n plus 1 divided by 4. For example, like that, just now we have 6 numbers, so 6 will be your n. So n plus 1 divided by 4, and you will get the amount. Same goes to Q3, 3. Okay, this is a formula 3, so you need to put 3 in front. In bracket, you multiply with n plus 1 divided by 4. That is Q3. Alright. After that, to calculate the interquartile, we're going to use the Q3 and Q1 that you already identified from the first formula. So you just minus, get the difference, so that will be your interquartile. Meanwhile, for quartile deviations, whereby Q3 you minus with Q1 and then you divide by 2, you will get the quartile deviations. So that basically direct calculations you guys need to know. Okay, how about range? Okay, range is actually on how we identify the difference between the highest and the smallest numbers. So now we need to identify which one is the largest or highest value and which one is the lowest value, and then you will minus to get the difference. That will be your range result. Just need to minus it. Okay, and then there are another two part of it for ungrouped data analysis, variance and standard deviation. As you see here, there are two types of formulas for variance, but I will prefer to use the first one for my calculation for my class. Okay, so this is the symbol of variance, and then if you see here, 1 divided by n minus 1. N is the numbers of data, same like the previous formula for quartile and also mean, whereby we need to have the same n numbers. If let's say n is 6, so 6 minus 1. So open the bracket, we have the sum of x powered by 2 minus in bracket sum of x, close the bracket, powered by 2 divided by n, 6 again. Okay, so basically this is the formula that we're going to use to identify the variance value. Okay, so need to make sure that we calculate it one by one when we want to solve the variance problems. Means that we need to solve those in the bracket first. Okay, sum of x. Okay, sum of x you powered by 2 and then you divide by n, you will get amount for this part. After that, x powered by 2 you minus with this amount, and then only you gonna get the value to multiply with 1 over n minus 1 outside here. Okay, that is how. You cannot directly calculate, but if let's say you use the calculator that have a full formulas inside, then yes, you can calculate it direct. If not, you can do one by one, step by step, based on the bracket. Okay, based on the standard basic maths, which one you need to solve first. So that is common way on how to solve it. After that, after you calculate the variance, only you can solve the standard deviation. Alright, why? Because standard deviation are from variance. You just need to square root the variance value to get the standard deviation. So if let's say in the question they didn't mention about variance, they just straight away ask you to calculate the standard deviation, automatically you know that before that you need to calculate the variance first, because like I said, we need to square root the variance. So automatically you need to calculate it first before you get the standard deviation value. So that's it. The standard deviation will be a bit easy because you just need to focus on how to calculate the variance and then only standard deviation. But then make sure your calculation is correct for variance. If let's say your variance you calculate it and you get the wrong answer, automatically your standard deviation also will be different because it is interrelated, will based on the variance value, right? So make sure double check your answer, calculate. If you confused with your n, your x, make sure you double check first before you go to standard deviation. Alright, so that's it. That is how we calculate the variance and standard deviation. And now maybe we're going to do one example to make you clear on how actually we're going to calculate the mean, median, mode, and so on. Okay, let's look at the example. Okay, this is the example of the question and the data. This is ungrouped data. Why is ungrouped data? Because there is no class interval. This is just a random numbers, I mean the raw numbers or data. So this is a sample of a 6 executive received the following bonus last year in thousands. So we have 14, 15, 17, 16 and 13. Alright. So now based on this data, we need to calculate the mean, the median, mode, first and third quartile, interquartile range, and then the quartile deviation, range of variance and standard deviation. And if you notice, all of these calculations are based on the example just now, the explanation that I explained, the formula that we discussed just now. So you just need to follow the formula and put in the informations. Okay, so how to do about it? Let's look at the next page on how to calculate the sample. Alright, this is the example 1 solution. Based on the data that we have just now, we're gonna calculate one by one. So please make sure you focus on how to calculate it, and this will be your reference later on if you want to do all the other examples and sample. Alright, so how to calculate the mean? Like what I said just now, mean formula sum of x divided by n. Okay, let's look here. Okay, this is the formula sum of x divided by n. Sum means the total numbers of x you divide by the n, the numbers of the data, numbers of set. So here, so the x value is this one, 14, 15, 15, 17, 16, 13. This is your x value. When we talk about sum of x value, means that you need to total all the numbers of x to become the sum of x. And then 6 is the n. Why 6? Because there is 6 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 numbers. So it becomes 6. So 90 divided by 6, you get 15. So 15 is your mean. Okay, or your average value. Okay, done. First question is done. How about second one, median? As like what I said, median is the midpoint, the middle value. So based on this data, first step, we need to rearrange the numbers from the highest to the lowest, or from the lowest to the highest. Up to you guys, but I prefer you to arrange it from the lowest to the highest value. Okay, after you rearrange the numbers, alright, then only we identify the middle value. Like this question, the first value is 13, followed by 14, 15, 15, 16, 17. So here we know there are two numbers in the middle. Okay, we cannot decide yet. What we need to do, we need to add both numbers and divide by 2 to identify what is the mean point. Okay, 15 add 15 divide by 2 equal to 15. So that's it. Your median value is 15. It's coincidentally same like your mean value 15. Doesn't mean that all questions will have the same answer. No. Only for this question. Alright. But it depends on the data that you have. If let's say here you have 16 plus 15, of course the value will be different. And some of the value may be in the point form. So it depends on the data that being given to you guys. Alright. How about mode? Mode is the highest frequency. A common equals frequency based on the data. Like this question, as we know, there are two numbers that have a common numbers, similar numbers, means 15. Okay, the rest only one data. So to identify which one is your mode, those we have more highest frequency. Since 15 have the highest frequency, the mode is 15. That's it. That's it. That is how you identify your mode value for ungrouped data. Alright. So that is the answer for mode. And if you notice here for mean, median, mode, the value is similar, 15. But it doesn't mean to all questions it will be 15. No. Based on the data. I repeat again, it's based on your data. If your data have the same value, yes, that's proceed with it. But if let's say the data have different answer, that is will be your answer. Alright. Alright, next. First and third quartile. How to calculate first and third quartile? We look at the formulas that been given just now. To identify the first quartile, n plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, so for this question, your n will be 6. 6 plus 1 divided by 4 because we have 4 quarter. So at the end, you will get 1.75. 1.75, we gonna put it in the nearest decimal. Okay, round it off. So it become 2. Okay, so 2 is here, 14. So means that your Q1 is equal to 14. That is the answer. 14 is the answer. Okay, this calculation is to identify the level of your quarter. And then only you identify which one, which value for which quarter. For Q1 is actually 14. For Q3, the same method being used based on the formula. Okay, 3 in bracket n plus 1 divided by 4. So 6 plus 1 times with 3 divide with 4, you get 5.25. So if you round it off to the nearest numbers, it will become 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is 16. So Q3 is equal to 16. So that is the answer. Q1 is equal to 14. Q3 is equal to 16. Alright. The last answer will be that. It's not the last answer Q1 is equal to 2 is wrong. Q3 equal to 5. No. Because that is only how you measure the level. And then only you identify the numbers for each of the quartile. Alright. Hopefully you understand it. Alright. Let's look at the next slide. Okay. Interquartile range and quartile deviations. Okay, and this one based on the Q1 and Q3 that you already identified just now. That's why it's very important to calculate it correctly. If not, it will continue wrong for the next question. Okay, so Q3 is 16, Q1 is 14. Okay, this is what we get after we identify the level of the quartile. So the answer when we minus, you will get 2. How about the quartile deviation? That is the formula. Q3 you minus with Q1 and then you divide by 2. Since our IR just now, interquartile range is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So that is will be your QD, quartile deviation. Alright, that's it. That is the answer. Okay, how about range? Range is when you like I said just now, you identify the difference, the gap, okay, between the highest and the lowest value. So what you should do, you identify first which one is the lowest value, which one is the highest one. Like this data, we know that the highest numbers is 17. So 17 you minus with 13, you will get 4. So that will be your range. That's it. Okay, hopefully you know, understand one by one on how we settle or solve this equation or problems. Let's look at another two balance of the calculation or method that you should understand for ungrouped data. Variance and standard deviation, and this is the formula that normally I will use for variance. Okay, 1 divided by n minus 1 in bracket multiply with sum of x powered by 2 minus sum x in bracket powered by 2 divided by n. Okay, so now we need to identify the sum of x powered by 2 and sum of x. So we're going to create one table. Okay, and then we're going to put the x value. X value is these numbers 13, 14. We arrange it from the lowest to the highest one accordingly. Okay, and then we we add another column for x powered by 2. Okay, so we need to calculate it one by one. It's not that you get the sum of 90, you powered by 2, you get the sum of x powered by 2. No, that is wrong. You need to calculate one by one. Means that 13 powered by 2, you get 169. 14 powered by 2, you get 196, sorry. And then for 15, 225, 15, 225, 16, 256, and 17, 289. And then only you add all of this value to get the sum of x powered by 2. So at the end you will get 1360. So that is the answer for sum of x powered by 2. And sum of x is actually 90. Just now the first mean that we calculate, the value is 90. So take the same sum. After we prepare this sum, and then only we just put it in the formula of variance. Alright, so 1 divided by 6, because there are 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6n equal to 6. So 6 minus 1. Open bracket, sum of x powered by 2 is 1360. So we put here 1360. Please ignore these two because we already powered it just now. So please ignore this one. This is an error here. Okay. Minus sum of 90 powered by 2 in bracket powered by 2, and then you divide by 6. Alright, okay, we already put it here. Followed by the next step, solve those in the bracket first. 90 you power with 2, divide by 6, you will get 1350. Okay, so 1360 minus 103,050. This one you please ignore it, this power 2, because we already do it just now. When you minus, you will get 10. Last part, 10 multiplied with 1 over 5. You will get your variance equal to 2. That's it. Alright. After you calculate the variance, it's easy for you to identify your standard deviation, because standard deviation is just a square root of your variance. So there are two ways. Okay, this one, actually the variance formula, you put it in the standard deviation formula and then you square your root. But if the easy one, you after you calculate the variance, just put it here, put it in the table like this, and you straight away get the answer 1.414. So that is the last answer, the final answer for the standard deviation. Okay, hopefully you understand. I repeat again, for variance, you need to create the table for x and x powered by 2 first. After that, you get the sum of x and sum of x powered by 2. And then only you put it in the form of formula here. And calculate it. You get the value. You calculate the standard deviation. It's quite easy actually. So that's it. And this is the example for solution. For example 1 solution. Alright. You can check it back, refer it back, make sure you understand it. So to make sure either you understand or not, just proceed, follow my step and try to solve second example here. I already shared the answer. Just need to make sure you guys did a correct step so that you will get the same value like the one in this example. Okay, that is your homework. Try to do it. This is still ungrouped data. Okay, the difference is only the figures, the numbers that being provided, and this, the n is 8, because there are 8 numbers here. So identify the important part of it. Alright, and we also have another examples here or exercises. This is to check either you understand the topic as a whole or not. After you understand this example 1 step, you try to do second example, and I already give the answer, and then you need to do it independently. That's this question and this one, and this is all ungrouped data. But if you see here, this data, they didn't put it in the table, but doesn't mean this is not ungrouped data. It's still ungrouped data. Normally the question will give you in this form of data or in this form of data, either one, but both same, ungrouped data. And the common question will be asked to you to calculate the mean, median, mode, first and third quartile, either the IR, QD, range and variance standard deviation. So that is what you guys need to do to make sure you understand this topic. Alright, I wish you all the best for this topic. Thank you.